This never leads to better value. Whether it's in your own organization or whether it's in a supply chain, it's impossible. If we as FMs teach that you can do this successfully, what happens to our credibility? No one outside of FM will believe it. We have to be logical about this because we thought management, direction, control, right, could work. And everybody's tweaking it. They're trying to get more information. They're trying to make the vendors do more. Well, basically, this will never work because the problem is humongous. Management, direction, and control will never work. Not in a million years. It'll only work if everybody's totally ignorant, if nobody's looking at value, if nobody knows what's going on, and FM is in a silo and nobody touches us. Because this is what this leads to. I've used this slide like for 20 years. This environment is everywhere, and it's because people aren't thinking logically. We have a vendor on the extreme left-hand side. He's very inexperienced. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He has to be told more. He has to be managed, directed, and controlled. This fellow thinks risk is when he can't meet the technical requirements. The fellow on the opposite side, he's an expert. He can see everything from beginning to end, and he has one more characteristic. And this is a natural law. Anybody who can see into the future understands people. How many of you can buy into the idea when someone's an expert, they're more honest? They actually tell you the truth. They think of everyone. And they have higher performance. You see an expert, they cannot fool you. They have no other option. People are predictable, and an expert is predictable. This fellow now looks at it from the beginning to the end, and he says, I have no technical risk because I know what's going on. The only risk I have is the risk I don't control. So what this expert does is in his pre-plan, which he does even before he accepts a job, he already identifies the risk that's going to occur from people he can't control. And he has a way to mitigate that risk. How many of you believe that a buyer, an owner, an FM can control a vendor? Can it be done? I don't believe it can be done. I don't even believe that a vendor can control their own people. The problem, believe it or not, is people. It's not technology. So, if this side can't control this side, can the vendor control the owner? No, not possible. This is where the key comes in. How does an expert mitigate risk? He creates transparency. What is transparency? Transparency is when everybody, regardless of their technical expertise, sees something and knows what it is. For example, how many bottles am I holding in my hand? Just one. If everybody agrees, this is a transparent idea. Nobody needs to go over to the person sitting next to him and say, how many bottles is he holding? Everybody can see it for themselves. When everybody knows it, it's transparent. Which means, how does an expert make things transparent? Does he talk in more simple language or more complex language? Simple. Is it concise or non-concise? Does he use metrics or does he use no metrics? Always uses metrics. Then you know he can see into the future. This is a true expert.